And hello, we are live again. Right, not really got much planned really for today. So I thought I would tear apart and tinker with these bits and bobs that I got the other day. I've got this BT call reminder display that I just want to pull apart and see how little is in it. And this little 3-com wireless router, travel router. See if we can connect up to it, get it going, and use it as if it was 1988 or whenever this came out. 2004. We'll surf the web like it was 2004. Plus I'm going to pull it apart and see exactly what's inside, which I would imagine is probably not a lot. Also, I would like to have just a lazy flick through an old copy of Personal Computer World of a specific date because it contains my first PC. So I thought a bit of nostalgia would be a bit of fun. Right, so let's start off today by pulling apart this here caller display thing. Let's get a bit more brightness there. I'm rather suspecting there's a battery in here and it may well be somewhat green, which would be very tasty. Oh, there are batteries, and although they're not green, oh, look at that, crusty. Oh, nice. Very nice. These are Homebase Power Pack Plus batteries. Quality. Oh, crusty. Oh, look at that. Oh, nice. Let's focus in on that. Oh, nice. Look at that. Oh, quality battery there. Oh, that is beautiful. That's what I love about vintage electronics. Leaky batteries. Fortunately, they haven't done anything particularly bad to the unit itself. A quick brushing is all that needs. Those were tasty, very tasty. Right, but what then is inside this? I've got what looks like 2 flat blades there. Plastic flat blades. So I'm assuming these aren't going to turn very far before they undo. Being plastic, I don't want to put too much pressure on them. I suspect they've just got to get to the right angle to release. But I have no idea what angle that would be. Let's try that angle. Chewed up if you too much. Don't like these plastic screws. Can't really feel when they release. I think I'm going to get a bigger screwdriver onto this so it doesn't chew it up as much. How does this one feel? Too big. Feels better. Not much left of this screw now. That does not want to turn properly. I hate these kind of screws. I think this one's released. So hard to tell. Just not coming out. There's also 2 little clips down in here. We might be able to undo it from the back. Get some leverage on the front. Definitely feels like it's released. They're loose. Oh, it's just not releasing at all. Let's see about completely ripping this out. Ah! Well, that explains it. They're not even screws at all. They're fake screws hiding real screws. And you have to destroy them to get them out. I mean, what on earth is the point of that? That's what I call cheeky. There we go. And we're in. Right, okay. Short wires, so it's hard to get things in a good position. There we go. One single-sided circuit board. I suspect there's surface mount on the other side. Probably a single epoxy blob. But we've got what looks like a full bridge rectifier. We've got some anonymous chip there. I shall have to look, see if I can get anything off that. There is writing on it, though it is quite faint. What's on the other side? Anything surface mount? I would not be surprised since there's a big empty area here. There's a screw hiding under these capacitors. I'm blind, there's another screw there. And we've got display with zebra strip. And yeah, one epoxy blob. All the magic in it. Good old cheap 90s, 2000s construction. One epoxy blob. But what's this chip here, I wonder? Just out of curiosity. Let's get my microscope thingy working. See if it'll work today. Oh, an LM324 operational amplifier. Little amplifier chip, that's all that is. Part of the audio interface. Well, that was pretty uneventful, it has to be said. Not much in there really, not that I would expect there to be much. A few passives, one op amp, a blob, and a display on a zebra strip. Custom display, not a 16:2 or anything like that. I don't know if we can see anything on here on the camera. No, not really. Maybe with the microscope we can. When it reconnects. nothing's showing through there at all. The Wi-Fi on this thing is terrible. No, I can't see anything on there at all. But we can have a close-up look at the zebra strip though. If the Wi-Fi would let me. There we go. Now you can see how a zebra strip works. It is literally stripes of copper and silicone. Sorry, carbon and silicone. Come on, focus. There we go. One zebra strip. Such simple technology, really. So yeah, that's typical cheap early 2000s construction. And a device that's never going to work again because, well, we just don't really have analog phone lines anymore. It's all digital now. Are these all the same, these screws? No, they're not. Four shorter and two longer, is it? Yes. I was going to say four shorter, one longer, and one vanished. So that satisfied my curiosity of what's inside here now, anyway. I shall be leaving those batteries out. They can be thrown into the battery recycling. Getting quite a collection of dead batteries now for recycling. I think it's time to take a trip, get rid of them. Right, with that one out of the way, and on to device number 2. What's the betting? This is a MIPS-based Raylink or MediaTek. Most of these earlier routers were MIPS-based. In fact, a lot of cheap routers are still MIPS-based with Raylink and MediaTek and similar chips cornering the market. These are stiff screws, like a could do with a slightly bigger screwdriver, actually. I don't know where all my screwdrivers have vanished to. They've probably ended up in the same place as my higher magnification glasses, which have also completely disappeared. Ah, these are long screws. There we go, we are in. Looks like your typical DRAM chip on the back of the board. There'll be a flash chip, there'll be a SOC, there'll be a Wi-Fi chip, and possibly an Ethernet PHY chip. Ooh, a second RAM chip. There's two lots of RAM. RAM chip, flash chip, some unknown SOC there, and a Wi-Fi canned system there. Let's see if I can get the heatsink off this safely. See what the chip is. Does not want to budge. Chances are it's a Raylink. Don't want to put too much pressure on this in case it lifts the chip off the board, which would be fatal. And no, I don't want to force that too much. That is well and truly welded on. Yeah, that's your basic, same as every other Wi-Fi router out there at the time. Might even possibly be able to run OpenRoute on it. How much memory and things this has? What's the chips we've got on this? We've got the flash chip. $29LV800. Let's have a look. 29LV800. Is that 8 megabytes? 8 megabits, 1 megabyte. That's not going to be enough to install OpenWRT onto, which is a shame. And these are the EM6366165. Which is 512K by 16, so that's 1 meg each, so there's 2 meg of RAM on there then. So 1 meg of flash, 2 meg of RAM. nowhere near enough to run OpenWRT. That's a shame, but hey, it's old. What do you expect? So, yeah, no surprises in there. See if I can get it back together again. If you open up any router from that same time period, you'll find pretty much exactly the same chips in there. Why can't I get this back in? There we go. Line the switch up. Let's see if I can find a better screwdriver for this as well. There we go. What are we breaking today? I just thought I would explore the insides of these couple of devices that I picked up the other day. I've already torn apart the BT call display thing to find it had nothing much in it really other than some very crusty batteries and an epoxy blob with a custom chip in it. And now I've just opened up the little 3COM wireless router thingy to see that it is just like every other router in that time period. Exactly the same chips in it. Nothing at all of any interest. So now I'm going to try and get this thing going. I do have, believe it or not, the manual, which you need because it's got a mode switch on the side here, which just has 1, 2, 3, and 4. And without the manual, you've got no clue what those modes are. No, unfortunately not. It's got 1 megabyte of flash and 2 megabytes of RAM. The minimum, from what I understand, for OpenRoot is either 4 or 8 megabytes of flash. My first thought was, oh, could I put OpenRoot on it? No, unfortunately not. Not with just 1 mega flash on there. So that's a shame. But I'm going to see if it'll work. I've got as well, tangled up in its box, its packet here, the original power supply. I've got a network cable. And I've got a suitably old laptop. There's no USB on this one. This is too old. That's 2001, I think this was. On the back here, it's... No, 2004 this was. Copyright 2004 3Com. It's the 3CRTRV 10075. I have a Netgear Ethernet card for the laptop. No Ethernet in this. I've got no Wi-Fi card for it. So I shall see if I can use this in, I think they call it client mode in the manual, which will allow me to connect my non-Wi-Fi laptop up to the Wi-Fi. See if we can get information on how to do that. So this is the Office Connect wireless 54 megabits per second 11G travel router. Tells you the reset button, the Ethernet port, the 4 modes that can be in: setup configuration mode, access point mode, router mode, and client mode. I'm guessing we want setup configuration mode first. And then I shall put it into client mode. Using each mode. Here we go. Using router mode. Using AP mode. Using client mode. Where's the initial configuration? Use the mode selector switch on the side of the travel router to select setup configuration mode. Switch position 3. Okay. That's in switch position 3. Power up the router. And wait for the wireless LED to turn on. This indicates the travel router is ready. That was fast. Establish a wired or wireless connection to the travel router. Right, that means trying to get this old laptop going now. I need a power supply for it. I don't have the original power supply. I had arranged a power supply at one point, but it's gone now along with everything else. So I want my test kit box and my power cable. Which can come from my bench power supply. $15. All the current. Now I'm going to want the screen on this laptop, unfortunately, does not work. I tried getting a replacement for it, but the replacement didn't work either. Okay. I shall want my trusty Netgear adapter. And the network cable, which I had just now. And power on. There's no battery in this either, so every time I power on, I have to go via the BIOS. Okay, we are booting up. Hello, President McCamagel. How's it going? Okay, still finishing the boot up. Next step, start your web browser. In the location or address bar, enter the following config.ap. Oh, it's already going there. Ah. You'll then see the main configuration screen. The screen provides access to the 4 main setup screens. I want client mode. And thinking about it, I'm not going to be able to see... What on earth is Woo? Or is this... Oh, this is what's set on it currently. Let's delete that. The Palm VX battery has been dispatched, apparently. I had the previous one on my desk here. There's the previous one. It's got a slight, although it's hard to see because it's got a hard case to it, slight bulge to it, shall we say. So hopefully that shall arrive by Thursday's stream and we can fit it on stream. Okay. I may not be able to see any Wi-Fi because it's all too old. It can only do WPA, PSK, or WEP. Good old WEP. Oh, it's probably because this is a VX, not a V. Right, so I have no WPA, PSK capable networks at the moment, which is interesting. Although I might be able to downgrade my bench one here. Let's just log on to it. Why can't I get to it? Have the domain name on it? Why not? I thought I had that set up with domain name. Where are we? DNS. My DNS settings. Oh, it's 01. I can't spell. That's my problem. I should be able to get to it on that IP. Yes. Now, let's see if I can reconfigure my Wi-Fi. I can set it to a WPA2 mix. That's good. Losing my Wi-Fi here for a moment. And I hopefully will be able to use WPA on it. Okay. And here comes Carrot House. We're all here now, I think. Oh no, we're just waiting for Cobb. Cobb's not arrived yet. Right, I don't really want to show my Wi-Fi key on stream, so I'm just going to go away from this screen for a moment. I don't really want that one either. There we go. I'll give you a picture of the although, hang on, I've got a problem now. Maybe if I can switch to studio mode. I can't see anything without having the screen on the OBS. If I go to studio mode, I can see. And I'll then go save. You can't see this. Okay. Come out of studio mode. And back to that. There we go. Right. Hopefully that will be connected. That's the current profile. So now, using access point mode. No, using client mode. Switch position 4. Switch position 4 on here is there. Well, we're just tinkering basically. I've pulled apart and had a quick look at this old BT caller display thing, and it's rubbish. I've ripped apart this little 3-com router, wireless router, to find it's the same as every other little wireless router of the period. And now I'm just seeing if I can get it working with my my old laptop. And hopefully that has now restarted and connected me to the Wi-Fi, because this laptop doesn't have Wi-Fi. So let's see what happens if I go like so. May not like current IP address actually. So let's go into here. ipconfig/release. I can't see what I'm typing here. ipconfig/release. It's so hard trying to type when all I've got is a tiny, tiny little window up on the screen in front of me there. So that didn't do anything because I pressed the wrong key. ipconfig/renew all. I think that looks like a okay. There we go. We're working. We are online. We are creeping our way up to the goal. This time next year we might be there. We are online on Wi-Fi. I've got my old P3 laptop, Ethernet adapter into the 3Com, up to my Wi-Fi, up through my network. It has shot up quite a bit recently, which is nice. I thank you all for doing your best. A USB 4 times serial converter into the Altair. Oh, 32 whatever it is, 4-port thingy. Yeah, they're pretty useful, those. Which security am I using? I'm using I know where I'm going on the internet security. Look in. That's what I think it is. Forget which one this is. I'm using the security of multiple layers of Linux machines and NAT between me and the internet. Did anything like that by any chance? I'm not sure whether this is the. Can't remember if this is the 2-port or the 4-port. The 223. It's 2232. So I think this is the 2-port one, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of the few websites that can be rendered on this browser, actually. Back to that. One of the other websites that still works, of course, is I can never remember what it's called. It's Windows Update. Oh, what's it called? I can never remember. Restored. Windows Update restored. I can never remember the last word. Mental block on it. Best website ever. This, of course, is all patched up to the hilt as much as possible, this one, so all the bug fixes are in there. Frog Find? I don't know Frog Find. Is that some low spec search engine? It is. Oh, nice. I must remember this one. Search engine for vintage computers. But this doesn't work though, does it? Oh, it's rendered it within the browser, the search engine. That's clever. I like that. That's up there with the archive.org proxy server thing, which I tinkered with at one point. Yeah, I must remember FrogFind. That's useful. Even useful if I want to do a bit of a search in W3M or whatever, or W3C, whatever it's called. Wikipedia version of Frog Wiki or something, is it? It's m.wikipedia, isn't it? The mobile version. Problem with a lot of websites, they may render fine, it's just they want to take you straight onto the HTTPS. And also I can't type, can I? No, I didn't like it. I think that strips a bit too much off Wikipedia. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that does not work. Let's try this one. Thinking. If you actually go to a specific page, it will render it. But it strips everything off, including all the search boxes and everything. I wonder if everything still goes to philosophy, even through FrogFind. And there we go, philosophy. Everything goes to philosophy, even through frog find. Philosophy is the underpinning principle of everything in the universe. So I'm happy with that. That's working and was pretty easy to set up. Easier than most of these things I've seen. So yeah, that's a win. All I need now for this laptop is a working screen and a working battery, because with neither of those, it's not really a laptop. Put that one to bed then. I think I've TI calculator. Ugh. Surf the web. That sounds yeah, psychotic, I think is the word. I mean, it's perfectly possible to do these sort of things. I've surfed the web from a text mode VGA screen using an ESP32 as a terminal emulator, connecting through to a Linux machine and running a text-based web browser. It's all perfectly doable. If you can get some form of serial connection to a more capable computer with some form of terminal interface, you can just run, I can't remember whether it's called W3M or W3C, it's one or the other, or Lynx is the other one, text-based web browsers. So yeah, they're all perfectly possible. Oh, right, I think I've done everything I wanted to do. So Arachne on Dossier, that's another one. Yeah, I know they're all over the place. These text-based web browsers. I quite like is it W3M or W3C? I don't have it installed. W3. Yes, W3M is the best one that I found. If you've got mouse, it even lets you use it with the mouse on there. But it supports SSL, it supports all your form entries, and I think it even supports some JavaScript on there. Not a bad system, W3M, for text-based. Right. Since the demise of Byte Break, I thought I would have something a bit reminiscent of that. We didn't have Byte in the UK as far as I know, but we had Personal Computer World. So I thought we'd have a flick through an old Personal Computer World and ogle at all the wonderful high-tech stuff. And I have picked specifically July 1984 because this issue has my first PC in it. First PC I ever owned. There's an advert for it, there's a review of it, there's all sorts in there. And there's also lots of other funky stuff as well we can have a look at, including the HP 110, which I think the Zenith Mini Sport, Mini Sport. Not familiar with that, although I did use Zenith computers at times at college. Basic PC clones. Right, let's have a look. What have we got? Lurking here. Lots of. This is the era of the handheld and the palm top and that sort of thing. The very small handheld computers. High resolution colour monitors. Looks like a telly if you ask me. £229.95 excluding VAT. Opus, good old Opus. What on earth is that? Come back. Add a modem to your computer and you've opened up a new dimension of datacom's possibilities. Choose the WS2000 and these possibilities stretch worldwide. Operates on both British, European and Bell standards. 300, 600, 1200 board. Ooh. With a great big rotary knob on the front to select your board rate. Classic. Lovely. I bet that had a cradle as well, didn't it? Rent a PC. PCs were so expensive you could rent them and lease them. Ooh. Hello, Tazword 2. I remember Tazword 2. Tazword 2 for the 48K Spectrum. I had that. Your Spectrum becomes a professional word processor with Tazword 2. Tazword 2 gives you an amazing 64 characters per line. I didn't have the luxury of BBSing in the 80s. I had to wait until the early 90s for that, when I could dial into university and bounce through and go through the internet. I did use BBSs as well, but mostly I bounced through the university. Yes, Tazword 2 on the Spectrum. The Spectrum had 32 characters per line. That was it. That was all you're stuck with. It was 256 pixels wide, I think. Let me think. 8 by 32. I can't do maths. Yes, 256 pixels you had on the Spectrum going across the screen. And Tazword managed to get you 64 characters per line. And it did that by splitting each character cell in half. So instead of an 8 by 8 grid for all your characters, you had a 4 by 8 character grid for characters, and you had to include the space between the characters in that. So you only actually had characters that were 3 pixels wide. And trying to make out the difference between M, N, and W when you've only got 3 characters, so 3 pixels, it was horrible to use. It really was horrible. But they managed it. They got 64 characters per line. The same program drives short each set of instructions. Tazword 2 also drives the ZX printer. Oh, I remember the ZX printer. Thermal printer that printed on silver paper. It was about that wide. It was silver, aluminium coated thermal paper. It was grim, to say the least. Oh, those were the days of... Oh, come back. Ah, wrong button. Yes, those were the days of horrible, horrible printers and screens. And ooh, Hyperion. Looks interesting. Portable and powerful and PC compatible. 256K 16-bit, 2 320K drives, MS-DOS assembler, and a carry case. Oh, beautiful bit of kit. probably not still available, but although, well, it might be from a specialist retailer or a new old stock possibly, but no, it's not something I would want to go looking for. Probably build a Hyperion based around the Pi. It's perfectly doable, yes. Oh, you could replace the screen here with a flat screen little TFT. You could have SD card slots instead of the floppies or something. Yeah, that would be perfectly doable. All the old printers. Insurance, no. What else could I do with the Dragon 64? Oh, the Dragon, blimey. That was a low spec computer. That's a bit like an Atari 2600 in a computer case, that low spec. Oh, the Epson PX8, £99 including VAT for first of the little pockety computers. There it is, the PX8, 184K in a briefcase with a acoustic coupler modem. Classic. Meet the Epson PX8 up to 184K RAM CPM. Nice, running CPM. We've got the PX4. Oh, the predecessor. How much memory is in the PX4 then? And does it run CPM? 80 character, 8-line screen. Runs off batteries. Standard 64K up to an incredible 184, usable by the optional clip-on RAM pack. Nice. More high resolution monitors. High resolution, yeah. Oh, is it for the... No, it's not for the deck. Yeah, this for the deck rainbow. Look over the rainbow with microware. Yes, the Rainbow 100B, 128K RAM, twin 400K drives, MS-DOS CPM 8086. £2,767 for a Rainbow 100B. Yeah, so it's basically a size reduced version. I think they chose to just show a random terminal there rather than the actual rainbow. Sinclair's ZX Spectrum logo and micro prologue. Oh, classic. Acorn Electron. Another classic home computer. Small business can now stop going by the book. For under £1,000, a small business can now equip itself with a BBC microcomputer, disk drive and word processor and printer. Pushing the BBC, which was aimed at educational and schools, for business. Interesting. I never knew they pushed it for business. I never saw one in business ever. Only ever in schools. Bitten off less than you can chew. Alpha Micro. We eat apples for breakfast. Oh, I like it. We eat apples for breakfast. A multi-user system with Unix System V. Oh. 7-terminal tabletop system. 30 terminals, 40 plus terminal systems. Nice. Zeal sound booster for Spectrum. Plug in and use, no external connections, no batteries needed, good clear sound. Yeah, okay. Good clear sound output control, load save facility built in. So is that just like a little audio amplifier with built-in speaker to make your screechy, horrible sounding Spectrum sound even more jarring? Can't see the appeal of that, to be honest. £15 for that. Yes, that has to be a little amplifier and speaker. Oh, look at that. Spectrum plugged into a dot matrix printer. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. Special interface just to plug in a printer. Fully micro drive compatible, apparently. Oh, here we go. Here's the little computers now. Got the PB700 from Casio. The FP200. Interesting. That's a good system. Tiny little screen, but fully graphical. Drawing graphics there. This one here is, oh, that's fully graphical. Full dot matrix screen on there. Nice. Obviously got basic built into it. PB700. Instead of a Spectrum, well, at the time of the Spectrum, you had there's obviously the various Spectrums. There was the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20, Acorn Electron, the Dragon 32, Dragon 64. There were, I think you could get the Atari 400 as well, but the market was about 35, no, about 45% Spectrum, about 45% Commodore 64, and the last little 10% was split between the strange things like the Acorn and the Dragon and that sort of thing. And if money was no object, you'd go for a BBC, but they really were aimed at education, and you used them at school if you were lucky. Yes, the Casio is very, very similar to the Sharp, but with a full dot matrix screen on it. So you can do full graphics, not just text. But yeah, basically, I had the Spectrum. A friend of mine had Commodore 64. Another friend of mine had a Spectrum. My cousin had the Dragon 32, and he was the strange one. He's still a bit strange. So yeah, it's mainly C64 and Spectrum. Those are nice looking things. 4K RAM expandable to 16K, 4K, or 4K RAM with 4 OR4 4K RAM modules. 25K ROM, 25 by 4, 160 by 32, nice. 4 next loops to 6 levels. Ooh. Power source, 4 AA size batteries, plus lithium cell for RAM backup. That's a bit better than those 4 little LR4s or whatever the one Shelby was working on has. Complete with easy trip to basic instruction book. 4-color plotter available. 8-bit Centronics. Microcassette module. And then the FP200. Standard QWERTY keyboard. 8K RAM, expandable up to 32K, that's good. Nice. 4 AAs, with 2 AAs for memory backup. That's more convenient. I guess with a bigger case, you've got room for bigger batteries. Nice bit of kit. Oh, hang on. There we go. This is my first ever PC. You've probably never heard of the Ferranti Advance 86B. But then, once upon a time, you'd probably never heard of the Sinclair ZX81 either. In 1981, we became the exclusive stockists of this computer, which has since gone on to become the best-selling personal computer ever. I beg to differ. In 1982, we were the first high street retailer to make the Sinclair Spectrum available to the general public. I did actually buy my Spectrum from W.H. Smith's, yes. In 1983, first national high street retailer to stock Acorn's domestic version of the highly successful BBC Micro, the Electron. The Advance 86B personal computer made by Ferranti. So far, of course, few people have heard of it. The Advance 86B, based on a true 16-bit microprocessor, has a user memory of up to 640K. And dual 360K disk drives. It runs IBM software and runs it faster than any equivalent IBM PC, simply because the microchip it uses is more advanced. The Advance 86B costs £1,499, including VAT, and comes complete with 4 free software programs. The package shown includes a monitor and printer at £2,073, including VAT. Costs less than half of the equivalent IBM PC package. Look at that lovely machine there. For various values of lovely. It was an absolute beast, believe you me. It made the IBM PC look small. A bit further on, I believe we have a whole review of it. Get yourself a sampler. BBC Micro. Tips and tricks. Where are you? More programs to type in. I remember the days of getting a magazine and typing in these programs from it, and hours typing in a Space Invaders clone. Come on, where's it gone? I missed it. I think I've missed it. Somehow. Oh, I must have skipped over a load of pages here. I don't remember seeing any of these. No. Ah, there we go. That was a good guess. The Advance 86. Oh, Altair switches, yes. That is my first PC. The Advance 86A is a home micro which can be upgraded to a fully fledged PC compatible for £400. You get a 128K micro with IBM cassette basic and a high resolution colour graphics. No monitor for that price, of course. For an additional £1,100, you can upgrade to the 86B, a PC compatible with twin floppies. Oh, such pricing. It's not a good image, this. A bit dark. But basically what you've got is a lower section here, which is the Advance 86A, which is the CPU and the cassette interface and the graphics. IBM cassette basic, yes. And on the front of it, a big flop down cover which you can slot the keyboard into, pack it all away, which was a very nice touch. And then on top of that, make it all about 3 times as high, is the expansion, which contains the floppy drives and the expansion slots, which only some of are standard, as you'll see in a moment. The Model A, the home system, is housed in a black plastic box measuring 52 by 39 by 15 centimetres. Opening a hinged Perspex cover at the front of the machine reveals a detachable keyboard. This slides out in front of the machine and is connected to the main unit via a coiled cable. The keyboard is a cheap copy of the PC keyboard. The layout and markings are almost, but not quite, identical. All the PC keys are provided, although the minor difference in layout is annoying if you're used to typing on the PC keyboard. In the feel of the keyboard, however, there is all the difference in the world. The PC keyboard easily rates as my personal favourite, having a sharp and clean feel. The Advanced keyboard, in contrast, feels dull and unresponsive. Nice, yes. I expect a better quality keyboard on a machine costing £400. On a £1,500 business system, I would find the Advanced keyboard unacceptable. At the rear of the machine, from left to right, sockets for TV, composite, video monitor, Centronics printer, single joystick and cassette player. No serial port is provided on the Model A. The board's layout is impressively tidy. 14 of the 84 chips are socketed, primarily the Ferranti ULAs, of which there are no less than 9, and the 8086 processor. A couple of patches are visible. I think they mean bodge wires. Halt and catch fire. No, I don't know that one. The processor is an 8086 rather than the 8088 used by the PC. It may be up to 30% faster in execution than the 88. The unit contains 2 slimline Shugart disk drives and an RS-232 port in a casing measuring 52 by 39 by 15. With the unit clipped on top of the Model A, the complete system begins to look decidedly overbearing, especially when placed alongside an Apricot, as it was when I wrote this review. Put a monitor on top and you don't have any more problems reaching the top shelf in your office. Inside the Model B is a larger PSU, the 2 disk drives, disk control circuitry and a motherboard. The motherboard has 4 PC compatible slots and 2 additional true 16-bit slots. Not 16-bit ISA slots. They are 16-bit slots. There's the main board, the A, the underside part. The way it was built, because you had the cupboard, the drawer part for the keyboard, the lower motherboard was actually mounted to the top of the case inside, and then the secondary motherboard was directly above that on the other side of the plastic divider. It basically had the two sandwiched together with a piece of plastic between. I shall look it up. Is it on YouTube or somewhere? Is it? I'll have to find that one and watch it. So yeah, you have these two big chunky ribbon cables on the side here connecting the two boards together. The upper board had the floppy drive card, 4 8-bit ISA slots, standard ISA, but these two 16-bit slots here. I'll ask Google for it later. These aren't ISA slots, and I don't think you can even put an 8-bit ISA card in them and only half fill it. So I've got a feeling that these are completely and utterly non-standard. If we look at the traces on this, all these 8-bit ones are all just wired straight through, 1-to-1. Nothing special, but then as soon as we come to here, we've got this break in all the tracks here, so I don't think that's going to be wired through 1-to-1 to these. So, oops, come back. Where have we gone? Stupid archive.org browser thing. So yeah, I think these true 16-bit slots are yes, basically it's these are 16-bit slots that you can use with our hardware that we're never going to bother releasing anything for. There may have been some other systems released with the same slots, but I guess as soon as IBM released the AT with its 16-bit slots, they became instantly the standard. So all these other 16-bit variants just gone. So yes, taking the disk system apart is no easy task. Welcome back. You've only missed the best part of the stream. Looking at my old PC. Taking the disk system apart is no easy task. The two units have to be... you mind. The two units have to be carefully unclipped, the top and bottom panels unscrewed and removed, the hinged keyboard cover removed, the power supply connecting the two boxes unplugged, the two connecting ribbon cables unclipped. The process involves balancing the advance on its side and the undoing of a great many screws. Putting it all back together is even worse. Fitting expansion boards is no better. You have to cut out a piece of thick plastic. A process which took me 10 minutes with a Swiss Army knife and cost me a cut thumb into the bargain. Score 0 for ease of servicing. Yes, they didn't even give you removable blanking plates. Just solid bits. Yes, I did, yes. I've not come across anything Zenith related in this magazine yet. They didn't even give you removable blanking plates, just solid lumps of plastic you have to manually cut out yourself. Oh, yes. The 86B was supplied with an operating system called Advanced DOS 2.11, which behaves remarkably like PC DOS 2.11. The disk-based Basic A, is again identical to the Basic of the same name on the PC. Advanced DOS 2.11 had one major bug. When the DOS booted from a cold start, it checked the amount of RAM present. If it had 256K, it duly noted this and allowed users to run packages requiring this amount of RAM. When it booted from a warm start, it didn't bother to check its memory, simply assuming that it had the default of 128K. If you tried to run something like Lotus 123, it complained that it didn't have enough memory and refused to run the program. Oh yes, even then you needed to sacrifice blood to the computer gods. Yes, truly it was a mammoth computer. Beast of a machine that was not pleasant to use. Fortunately, I didn't buy this computer. I was given this computer towards the end of the 80s, so it was old then when I had it. So we had when I was at college, we had numerous PC clones. Some of them were Zenith Data Systems PC clones. They look just like every other PC clone, really. So yes, that was my first beast of a PC. Grim it was. Certainly looking back on it now, it was grim. It was wonderful at the time. Compared to my Spectrum that I had. Exploring WordStar, Qt Text. Tandberg TCCR 530. Computer-controlled cassette tape recorder. What? Apart from being a formidable tape recorder in its own right, the TCCR has a set of 24 user-available commands that allow it to be remotely controlled by any micro with a V24 or RS432 interface. Weird. Okay. Teach yourself Lisp. Sanyo MBC 555 high performance business machine. Normal sort of specs, PC clone. Looks like a video recorder on the front, doesn't it? That's two floppies there, isn't it? Two 5¼ inch floppies side by side. Very neat little machine, that. How to play chess. Perfect link, supercalc. Easy to use micro capable of handling large databases. Crystal. £10,000. No. Modem protocols. 6502 revival. Rockwell. It's the R65CO2. Oh, it's the 65CO2, yes. The updated version of 6502. Yeah. Jane versus Apple Works. Into the programming section. Flip through these, nothing much here. All the programs to type in. I haven't seen a single mention of anything Zenith on here. About the entire issue. Mention of the NZ80. Did I skip over that? But for the Osborne, that. MZ80K pokes. Is that what we saw on the way past? Useful pokes for the MZ80K. Keyboard to lowercase, keyboard to uppercase, cursor to column X, cursor to line Y. Beep on ready allows computer go to. Blank screen restores screen. The printed listings. Where were they? Here we go. BBC Time Star, Programme of the Month. BBC RAM Editor. Ah, here we go. MZ80K frequency test. Useful program for hi-fi enthusiasts and audio technicians. It assists in carrying out frequency response tests by prompting for output readings at different frequencies and producing a graph of the results. The printout provides a convenient, permanent record of the test. Instructions given within the program. I guess that means something to somebody that knows about this version of BASIC with all these strange characters in here. I love the way that these printouts are literally a printout. They've literally printed it out on printer paper and then pasted it into the magazine. So yes, this is July 1984, Personal Computer World, page 242. If you want to type this into your Z80. New Apple IIc. It was so nice computers back then when we had such variety rather than just everything being a PC. So much variety and innovation going on back in this period. The SV328 from Spectra Video. 3-channel ADSR sound. High resolution sprite graphics. A rapidly expanding library of software. Probably means that there's 3 items released on the time of this advert. And by next week there'll be 4. Slick word processor style keyboard. CPM compatibility with an asterisk. £262. Intriguing machine. Never come across the Spectra Video before. Ah, cutting use for it. Color 256 by 192 high resolution graphics. CPM compatibility with an asterisk. Where does the asterisk go to? Oh, just a trademark. Probably Z80 based then. Intriguing. Digital watches. Helps plot your future. Da Vinci Computer Store. What are they selling? They're selling the IBM PC. Price, please call. XT, please call. PC networking, please call. The Apricot. The ACT Sirius. Commodore Pets and things. No, Commodore 8296SK. The 8050, 8250. Home computers, the Atari, the BBC, Commodore. Printers, software. Yes, basically you've got the Atari. This shows you the sort of split of how the UK was then. You've got the come back. You've got the Atari 800, 600. You've got the BBCs. You've got the Commodore 64. You've got the Spectrum. That's the entirety of the market, really. That's the few other strange things like the Dragon and the Apricot and things like that, the Acorn Electron rather. But that's really the entirety of the market in the UK, is those 4 machines. Last, the microcomputer is released from solitary confinement. What is this? Microcomputer was supposed to enhance this process by making it faster, more accurate, and more efficient. By an odd quirk, however, many microcomputer users lose their freedom to exchange information. By acquiring inflexible standalone systems, they in effect put their information into solitary confinement. The astonishing success of Comart Communicator multi-user systems is largely because they don't imprison you in this way and allow you to share computer power and performance among all key members of your staff. Up to 9 users can share the same processing unit and data storage facilities whilst making economic use of expensive peripherals. Each extra user shares access to the system merely by the addition of a simple VDU and keyboard. Communicator range of 15 models. Communicator now comes with the new Intel 286 Powerhouse 32-bit processor. Powerhouse. As well as the established 8 and 16-bit models. There's also a choice of memory from 64K to 1 meg. Can you imagine 9 users trying to use 64K and floppy drives? How painful that would be. Probably runs NPM, multi-user CPM, or something along those lines. Oh, there's the brand new amazing Commodore SX64 portable. Ghastly machine with a horrible screen that you can't see. We all love it, and at such an amazingly high price. All the Spectrum 48Ks. Oh, it's the DK-Tronics keyboard for the Spectrum to give a 48K Spectrum a semi-decent keyboard, because the rubber-keyed ones were just absolutely ghastly to use. Our printers. Software. No, I don't think Zenith had entered the market at this point. Not in the UK. There's just no mention of Zenith anywhere. Apricot. Another advert for the Apricot. The Adam.
Advertisers index. We've got Zeal Marketing and Zero Electronics. ZX guaranteed. No Zenith anywhere. It's a prize crossword. And finally, a Macintosh advert. I think it's the only Apple Macintosh advert in the whole thing, right on the back. Well, that was fun. Such wonderful memories of my old computer. The amazing high price for an SX64 is now more true than ever. Indeed. Nostalgia is most definitely real, yes. I would love to find an Advance 86B computer. It's a huge beast. I wouldn't have room to store it anywhere, and it's horrible to use. But just for the nostalgia, I would love to have one back again. But that's never going to happen. They just don't exist anymore. They were so bad, they just ended up being e-waste straight away. So, yeah. Well, oh, we're heading towards 9 o'clock now, so I think I'm going to be signing off fairly shortly. Go and rest my voice. It's recovered pretty well from my cold now. I've pretty much got over it, but it's still getting a bit rough around the edges at this time of night. Do I agree that the prices for vintage computers will fall off a cliff when our generation gets too old? Probably. I don't know, because yeah, it is a bit of a cycle. There are younger members of the vintage computer scene coming through. But are we ever going to get too old for the nostalgia and to want to buy more old computers? I can see myself being 95 years old and still buying or lusting after old computers. But the old computers, I mean, there is going to come a point where I guess when we all pop our clogs and our grandchildren will be selling off all our old stuff that we've hoarded over the years. So it is going to be a cycle, I think. It's creeping up and up and up and up, and then it will probably fall off, but then it won't fall off that far and it'll start picking up again. And it'll just creep up and up and up. As they get older and older and older, the prices are going to go even higher and higher. So, yeah, there's curiosity in the younger generations of the older stuff. I saw a YouTube short yesterday actually about somebody rediscovering the old tech that we used to have as children and cassettes and things, and there is a lot of rediscovery of the older stuff going on by the younger generations. And I've seen teenagers interested in older stuff. Oh, it'll come with a 10-year-old. Once they hit their teenage years and start getting more curious about technology and... Yeah, it stems from curiosity, I think, more than anything. Not so much a desire to use the tech, but more a desire to experience the tech. And I have tape recorders and I have tapes, but I don't use them. They're there, I own them, but I don't have any actual use for them as such. But they're there so I can experience them and nostalgia, and on the odd chance that I get a cassette that I need to convert or something. Or... Yes, there's a lot of the cassette is actually driven by the retro community and people who are interested in the old technology, sort of independent music makers releasing their stuff on vintage media. The mainstream stuff, not so much, no. 99% of all the music I consume is Spotify, all streamed. I'm modern in that respect. I have access to all the older media, but I just don't use them. They're just not... No need to use them. It's too much hard work getting it going again. VCR is one thing I don't own. I've had them coming through and repaired them and sent them on again, but no, I've got no desire really for VCR. It's not a format that ever really excited me that much. The quality was never good enough for my liking. Right. We're up at almost 9 o'clock now, so well, the digital video tape things were interesting. Yeah, the problem with a lot of these things is they were fairly niche, and getting the media for them is tricky. Laserdisc would be interesting, but again, it's just so big. Yeah, I had what did I have? I had a Sony. I think it was a Sony video camera, um, which I think did it take DAT tapes? I think it was DAT tapes it took. It was all digital anyway, the recording, and it connected up to my Mac through FireWire. Um, that was different to Super 8, wasn't it? I'm talking of 8. You want to get old school? I do have the Ultimate 8. I'm not going to get it out of its box right now. Eight mil cine with sound. Still in its original box. The accessories for it are still in their original packaging. Vintage 1960s air trapped in the bags. Nothing to play on it though. Got no tape, no film for it. Well, I could do a stream on this, but I think I've got no actual media for it. Nothing to play on it. No and it all works perfectly. I've already sort of gone through and made sure it all works properly. I tried listing it on eBay to sell it because I've got no real use for it, but nobody wanted it. Contemplated putting it on free cycle, but I'd rather it go to a decent home than just to a free cycle thing. But yeah, whereabouts are you based, President? Yeah, not having my Palm VX. That's going to be my main mobile computer. I can see myself sitting in a meeting with a Palm VX on the keyboard and tapping away. Mine. Besides, it's got insides that look nice. So yeah, hopefully the battery will have arrived by Thursday for our next stream. And I can get this going properly then, with the keyboard and everything. I'm going to set yourself up a drive-through movie theatre. Drive-in. Pick a sheet up in the garden. You can have the old battery if you want, Carrot House. I'll send you that. It might not arrive in one piece. Where's my desk? You gone? There it is. Let's see if I can get a bit of view on this. Can't really see on here, can you? How see that slight pillowing going on there. It's not as flat as it should be. Well, it's in a solid metal casing, so it's all well contained in there. So even if it did do nasty things, it probably wouldn't do anything at all. But we'll see what the new one's like. If it gives me a bit of life out of it. Right. I'm off. Here's the outro. There we go, all running. Okay. Well, that was a fun evening anyway. Thank you for joining me on my little nostalgia trip. Mostly discharged. It was 0.5 volts, which is about 3 volts below what it should be. Got stuck up here. Oh, for some reason I had a micro SD card stuck up in my hat. Not sure why I've been there all evening. Okay. Yeah, that was a fun nostalgia trip. It's nice to just kick back and relive the past. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, join me for the next stream on Thursday when hopefully we'll be replacing this battery. Fingers crossed. If not, I'm not sure what we'll be doing, but we'll find something, no doubt. We usually do. So yes, if you enjoyed it, you might want to follow me to help me get my target of 50 followers and be notified when the next stream goes live. If you really enjoyed it, you might want to subscribe on Patreon. You'll get your name down here like the Retro Recall has. You'll also get early access to my videos, one of which I'm partway through making at the moment, so hopefully one should be coming out soon. Yeah, you'll find my videos on YouTube otherwise, and join me on Discord sometime. I do like to try and keep the updates coming on Patreon. It just gives a bit of, shows there's some activity happening. So yes, I shall see you Thursday, and thank you very much for joining me. It's been awesome. Cheerio.